Ladies and gentlemen, to DBDLeague. Today was supposed to be the grand final of Season 9, but unfortunately the recent patch has brought too many issues to make it a great grand final, but we didn't want to leave you with an empty weekend. Therefore, we gathered a spontaneous weekend cup with 6 promising newcomer teams fighting for a spot on the All Hollows League, because in a tournament like this, serving as a qualification stage, we can work with a bug and we can certainly find a good solution. It's not as heavy as ruining an entire grand final. We have 3 matches today ahead of us. That means we are a long time on the desk, and for such a long time you need a perfect casting buddy, and I think I can say we got that for today. Ray Oxium is here. Welcome.
Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. I'm excited to be here today, do some casting for these teams, especially because I am slightly familiar with about 2 of them, and I know the name of the third one. I must have seen some matches by them in the past. So I'm very excited. They played some games in our very own community scrim nights that we've been having on Wednesdays and Thursdays. So we have 3 teams. We have Insomnia, Eunoia, and Archon, which I believe are very, very good teams. So the matches today ahead of us are going to be kind of fun. Dyer, what do we have in store for today?
Yeah, as you mentioned, great teams. They have participated in the Scrim Nights and then they were invited back again because they did such a nice performance. And not only a nice performance, they were also very good to work with behind the scenes, being quick with the lobby setup, good on the balancing and the regulations. So we love to see them back. And starting off with the first best of 3, we have something very great for you, Ray. The Ghost Face on the second set, picked by Team Archon. We will go very deeply into Ghost Face in a moment. But first of all, Blight, we talked a little bit setting up the campfire chat. You mentioned Blight is not that often played in comp TBD any longer. I have to agree with that. His popularity has drastically decreased. Do you have an idea why that is the case? Why the comp community at the moment says a little bit goodbye to that killer?
That killer has recently gotten some changes in which the hug tech is what the community dubbed it, wherever you can break collision by either looking up or down right before you rush. It has been gone. The devs have decided to patch that out for either balance reasons or just they didn't want it in the game anymore. And it has definitely made the killer a lot harder to play, in my opinion. If you're used to hug tech, it is kind of just a muscle memory thing. I know I only played him in pubs, but sometimes whenever I play him now, I still like by muscle memory, I just look up or down to try to get a hug tech and it doesn't work. His collision as well just seems to be a lot more unforgiving in that you bump a lot more. So it could be that maybe the Blight players just haven't adjusted. Maybe they just don't find him very fun to play anymore because he still does have that S tier balancing, but he did get what I would say is a significant nerf. So maybe the teams just haven't adjusted to it yet. Maybe they just don't find it fun. So Blight definitely has been seeing a lot less play, but good news, we have been seeing a lot more Billy. I feel like Billy sort of has replaced Blight in the S tier pick category. And good news, we actually have Blight and Billy being played today, so we can see both if we get to the tiebreaker.
Yeah, I love the comparison that you made there between Blight and Billy. Really important, right? The mobility is kind of the same when we are looking into Billy and Blight, but Billy, especially with this Omega update, we could call it, that he received, more fun, more interactive. We have seen the crouch taking. You need to make the most out of little tiles, even. Strategy needs to be on point. Overall, just a perfect killer to play competitive DBD with. And the opposite of these quick sets from the Blight into the M1 killer Ghost Face on Larry's Memorial Institute. A killer that is requiring communication on point in terms of where is the killer, who is he turning to, what generator will he be guarding next, keeping in mind how much stalk progress do I have if I am aware how much I got. We remember in Season 9 we had a little bit of chaos already because players did not realize that they were found already and are potentially 99. Ladies and gentlemen, though, we are going to hear a very nice presentation by Rayoxium now about the question, why is Ghost Face such a great killer?
Oh my god, why isn't Ghost Face such a great killer? I will have to say though, this being picked next to Blight and Billy is very interesting because this killer requires so much more slow and methodical play from both the killer side and the survivor side. Ghostface games are played on Larry's, an indoor map where the confusion can set in very quickly. Teams could crumble, teams could shine. They definitely have to be playing against technically he's just an M1 killer, right? Like he isn't that scary, right? But then Ghostface could 4K2, 4K3. It's not unheard of, and good teams get 4K3. So we definitely are going to be playing a little bit of a slower game because it is mostly just trying to create confusion, create chaos. And I actually saw on social media recently that Ghostface's reveal mechanic may have seen some changes that weren't listed in the patch notes. Maybe we'll be seeing that today. I'm not sure the validity of that, but it could definitely be a little bit surprising for the killers and for the survivors. We're going to have to see how they decide to play around that. It's going to be very interesting. We're definitely going to see it. It was Archon's pick. So they definitely are coming in with a game plan. You never pick indoor killers lightly. You definitely feel that you are locked in with your team. You have good chemistry, and we'll have to see how they present that to us today.
I love when you're yapping about the Ghost Face. There's just this dedication for this killer that the teams also have that are picking the Ghost Face. Like, we have a lot of killers in the roster, like a Demogorgon, for example. You can pick a Demogorgon and just play him if there is no one else available or if you want a normal match somewhat. But Ghostface is a killer that requires very specific and unique form of preparation. Ghostface is a killer where you need to be really careful that your team is on point, anything like that. So you pick this killer when you're 100% confident that you will be able to pull something crazy with that. Now, Team Archon is coming with Fats on the roster. Team Eunoia is coming with Fats on the roster, meaning that we have a very nice counterplay on the Ghostface because Fats, from everything I know and how I remember Fats and me are long friends, even back from the Wolf community. We have practiced indoor maps and such mechanical killers. So we can only hope that Archon was aware that Eunoia has a little bit of an expert there about the indoor sets and the Ghostface sets and picking it very carefully. And then as the last one, we talked about him a little bit already, the Billy as the tiebreaker. Now, how does this tournament work, ladies and gentlemen? Very short about that. We are having 3 teams playing today against each other in a round robin. The 2 best teams are going to move forward to the playoffs that are happening next Saturday with the semifinals and Sunday with the grand final. And the winner of this weekend cup will be seen in the All Hallows League as long as they are returning with an identical core roster. So not the team captain just saying, well, was nice playing with you all, I have a spot now, and then inviting his, I don't know, family and playing with his uncle. I think we have touched on everything important. Prediction is a little bit difficult on these newcomer teams, so let's see how it's going to play out. We are going to see that Leonidas is taking the responsibility for Team Eunoia. Archon is coming with Everyday Pizza, Mr. Next Time, and Gambito. It looks like one player had a little bit of a crash there. The servers have a little bit of a difficult time in Survive with Friends recently, so Kill Your Friends recently. So if we're having any delays today, please bear with us.
We're definitely going to be trying to work around all of these bugs as well. There's a brand new spectator bug where if we, as the spectator, don't witness the hooks happening, that it doesn't count on the little counter there. So that might cause a little confusion for you guys as well. Just disregard it. We'll try to keep in mind how many hooks there is, but we do have some lovely staff on the back end who are keeping track for us. So we're definitely gonna have to deal with that. And then maybe, oh my god, potentially we'll run into the bug where they get 2 gens done for the price of 1. However, I have been seeing a workaround for that where the reason the bug happens is because one of the dead survivors leaves the game entirely. Like, they don't go to spectate mode, they don't stay on the in-game screen. So if they do that, possibly that bug doesn't happen. I don't know, that's kind of super interesting to that's linked. That's so weird. I know that, every time I see that bug happening in public games or I see clips on Twitter, it's because there's already, like, a survivor dead, and it's always correlated to how many gens get done. You know, sometimes, like, 2 gens pop, like 2 extra gens, and that's because 2 survivors are dead. I've seen that happen before, so it's super interesting that, the workaround is just to tell the survivors to stay in the lobby and not actually, just, like, leave, go next, and prepare for the next game.
I mean, how this bug is happening. I mean, we advise the teams in VC. That's important to mention. So if anyone is clicking continue today, we will instantly jump down there and bonk them with all penalties that we have available in the rule set. The problem, we are getting more information, by the way, on the player that is stuck at the moment somewhere. There seems to be net connection server issues, not entirely sure, but we unfortunately have to yap a little bit longer, though for Ray and me that's not really a problem. I mean, we could yap for 6 hours, I guess, and not even showing any gameplay. I just love this bug though, because it's a little bit funny, right? Like, someone is leaving the lobby and in game there's an additional generator being completed. Like, how this is linked to each other, this is something I would really love to understand. I guess we will never find out. But if you just speak out the bug like this, it's definitely something rough there. I guess we will give a little bit of an overview of what else we have today, while we are waiting for the player to get his connection under control. We have Insomnia and Eunoia right after, meaning that Eunoia is playing 2 games back to back. Insomnia has played twice during the scrim nights, one of my personal favorites, because the first time they were coming 2 weeks ago, they looked very, very strong already. So we invited them again. And when they came last week, they already adjusted every little critique that we had during the first scrim night, making them an absolute unstoppable, dangerous team. And I think exactly this mindset is what you need when you want to get your name into competitive DBD, right? Trying to make the first step and then proving everyone, we are here, we are ready to learn. This is who we are.
That's definitely a good skill to have. Just play up on this main stage of DBDLeague and then have some feedback and then adjust to that feedback and learning. That's definitely a mark of a great team and teamwork between the players. Being able to adapt and adjust your play styles and just learning to play against high tier teams, that's very promising from a team as well. Just being able to learn that quickly. That's just insane kind of teamwork that you love to see. Playing for DBDLeague as well, playing on the 2 community scrim nights, then coming here for this weekend, trying to play for that spot in your all Hallows League. Sorry, it's a little bit of a tongue twister. But that is actually that's really insane. And if I was playing against this team, I would definitely be on the lookout, trying to play my best. It's always such a great time to be able to play in front of just a whole bunch of people and show off your skills if you main a killer or if you're just specifically good against a killer as a survivor. Definitely going for some juicy plays. Man, it is taking a long time for this team to get readied up.
Yeah, it seems like the survivor that they lost still has issues. They are in the VC though. So it's not the internet, it is something else. The Steam server, the behaviors are not entirely sure, but this player just cannot get back into the lobby. Very unfortunate. Yeah, I know how that feels though from my own time as a competitive player. Whenever you have an issue with the lobby and the tournament organizer is waiting, the audience is waiting, the cast are waiting, I always felt super bad whenever I had an issue, so I feel a little bit bad
I
for them.
I definitely don't have internet issues very often, but
You
one
just
time
oversleep.
okay, that was only one time. That was just because
Sorry.
I don't know. I had that busy weekend and I forgot. That was my bad. But I don't really have issues with my internet or power very often, but I have twice. Twice during any competitive sort of stuff. The first time it was like a freak storm blew in and it only lasted 10-15 minutes and it knocked a tree on my power lines. This was before I believe it was like a COTF qualifier weekend. They make you play like 10 matches in a row of just like
Oh
one
yeah.
of 3 killers. Yeah, it was definitely one of those. And it was just one of those Battlefy things where if you weren't there for the very beginning match, then you weren't able to play. And so like I just had this freak storm it just blew through, knocked my power out for like a solid 20 minutes. It was just unbelievable. I couldn't believe the timing. And I never have power issues ever.
And that's a big problem, right? I mean, these external factors, when we are talking about the competitive setting, obviously we would love to host a DBDLeague LAN event, flying everyone out to Frankfurt or something, hosting the tournament on the roof of the server center, so everyone is playing with 1 millisecond ping. I mean, this would be
I
the
wonder
big
how that
dream,
would even
DBDLeague
go.
LAN.
That would be really insane.
I actually looked up. We have an arena in Frankfurt that you can rent for an event like this. I was looking at the costs. It's definitely not something that DBDL can afford anytime soon.
Come on,
but
behavior
but it's
sponsor us.
flying up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's up there in the distance for, I don't know, 2060 or something like that. But yeah, if behavior is watching right now, Frankfurt guys, did you ever want to meet or see Germany? We have nice schnitzel.
That would be fun. I honestly, sometimes whenever you see the connection between good players, you know, they each have 20 ping themselves. Sometimes it feels like they swing, like if they go for a window vault and the killer swings at them, it looks like they're swinging through their ankles and it doesn't hit. I wonder how it would be if it was done on land. Like, would we see hits like that where it feels like it goes through their body, but it actually just doesn't connect? I wonder how different games like that would be, because in like competitive DBD, you learn to play around ping. That's just something you have to do, especially because there's a lot of teams NA versus EU. That's like a whole strategy. If you can't learn to play against ping, then how good of a comp player are you really? But I don't have to yab about that anymore because it seems like everybody is all set in lobby, all ready to go. We are loading into our very first set, a real treat. We have Blight first, a killer we don't typically see in comps, so we'll have to see how these teams have adjusted to his changes and see their playstyle. I'm excited, Dyer. Do you like Blight sets? I can't remember if you ever said.
Blight is okay. I definitely have nothing against it, which is rare. There are a lot of killers, I feel like, where people say as soon as they see him, oh, why is this being played? But yeah, we are going to load in now because Lix has made it successfully into the game. Here we are, Blight on the suffocation pit. We are with Mr. Next Time, Lix, Everyday Pizza, and Gambitor. And we are trying to find the first survivor on the top side in the main building. We will be successful doing so. Corrupt Intervention, a nice perk here to make sure that we get a little bit of injuries in before the generators are available. And that's a very fast 2-tap onto Everyday Pizza. Definitely not how you want to start into the Blight match, especially when you have so many survivors up here still.
Oh my god, yeah, they didn't even make the cross. Suffocation pit, sort of like ARP, but a little bit bigger on the end sides, means that it is a little bit difficult to make the cross early game, and it seems like that down happened so fast that the survivors didn't really have the time to. We saw Ace running down. We did have one survivor who already made it, but we have, I believe, believe it's Chris. I think it's Chris from a Resident Evil game. He was up here stealthing, and I believe the Blight has a pretty good idea that he is, because, you know, if they don't make that cross very early, there's a very real chance that somebody is just stealthing for the save, and that is exactly what's happening. I can't believe the Blight didn't see him. He was right there on top of Hook. Yet the Blight confident now that the save won't happen, except that it did, and we did get that without a 1-for-1. It was a safety, or a safely done Hook, and now we're on the chase of Dwight over here as heal happens on Everyday Pizza, so it seems like our tunnel out won't be happening that early, even though it was a pretty early, rush not hitting! Even though it was a pretty early Hook, we could go back there and try to get that early tunnel out, but we are pressuring this generator that has Ruin, and we have Undying as well. It's regressing the gen. But a missed skill check does reveal the location of a possible tunnel out. Yes, and the Blight is on his trail, and we do have Decisive Strike on the tap as well, so that could be a little bit dastardly for trying to get the tunnel, but seems that the Blight isn't on his trail here. Oh, yep, there he is. Definitely going to go for the tunnel up. That is a very good strategy that killers tend to use in these high-level games. We'll have to see if he can achieve it.
One thing I really like is how long Everyday... Okay, I just cursed him. But how long Everyday Pizza was going on a run here. Because against the Blight, it's super rough. We've seen the 2-tap happening 30 seconds into the trial, and after that you will be the target of the Blight. You are the chosen one that has to leave the trial, so the killer has a nice 3v1 scenario, and Everyday Pizza put the Blight on such a run, together with the team members trying to help a little bit as well. Really good recovery play from Team Archon there, resulting in 2 completed generators and Hex Totem being removed from the trial here. One of them is close towards the Hook, and with Leonidas now checking on the generator, I do believe they can go freely for the unhook. They don't even necessarily have to go for a trade. That's not going to be a successful body block there for the Dwight, but we have the deep wound status effect coming out with the base kit VT that is available to all survivors. You mentioned earlier the DS still in play as well, so we have a little bit of extra time. Leonidas will be forced to pick from the locker here, and you have one final run on the tap. Difficult decision for the survivor team. Do you want to go for more body blocks, or do you prioritize the generators right here? Everyday Pizza with the Decisive Strike, and the Blight leaving surprisingly towards the top side, wants to defend the 3-gen, but that means that we will keep all 4 survivors alive in the trial, and I'm not sure if that is the correct calculation here.
I'm not sure. It definitely is punishing as well, because Everyday Pizza was healed up so incredibly fast. We had 2 survivors down here willing to trade their time and their lives to make sure that that man was not down, and the jukes come through. Dwight expertly dodging the blighted rush, and now is rewarded with him not having any sort of progress here. He did try to prioritize getting that generator regressed all the way down to 0, because we can see, even from Tab's perspective all the way across the map, that is a very tight regen. I'm not surprised he wanted to try to defend this as much as possible, but is it really gonna work out? Because a 4v1 is a lot harder to play, and more jukes being dealt out by Lix here on the ace, expertly dodging once again. We have the survivors here who are making a very conscious decision to not stay on this side of the map. They have discovered the Blight's plan to try to hold this 3-gen. It's a lot easier when you have Ruin still up. Undying was cleansed there. I didn't actually see it happen, but it did get cleansed. So they have figured out his plan, and now they're deciding what they're going to do to try to break this to get the best result possible. We did have Everyday Pizza just diligently working on the other side of the map. We want to keep him out of the danger zone. But these survivors are coming down here, but they're not getting any headway because they're just taking tabs. It's a very difficult place to try to sneak in and get some generator progress. What needs to happen is we need to bait the Blight away for a longer bit of chase, or just try to split on gens on that other side. Unfortunately, it might be that we need just every survivor possible to try to break, because that is a very small 3-gen. And this generator does pop! It does show the location of Everyday Pizza. The Blighted Killer was close enough to take advantage. Our tunnel out right here, that could be very bad for the survivors if our tunnel out happens before that very tight 3-gen gets broken.
Everyday Pizza still standing here in the trial against this Blight. What a patience now as well. He's injured. He's about to be eliminated and he's having a standoff for almost half of a minute here on this pallet. Really, really great to see. Blight doesn't care about the survivor leaks that is around as well. You want to proceed with the elimination, but it will cost you another generator. 4 of the objectives are already completed and they are immediately getting onto the main building here. Lix hiding around the shack. He has the pallet available against the Blight. Is coming towards him. What I do notice is the survivor team is a little bit greedy. Everyday Pizza was greedy on the main building earlier in the filler pallet, and so is Lix over here. And this was a very avoidable down. Just throw the shack pallet a little bit earlier, force the Blight into breaking, and then this would be the injury, and you would have a little bit of distance and making the move. Good to know also for the survivors that we have the deliverance ready to be in play, meaning that one time when this survivor is hooked, no one has to go for the rescue, and instead the survivor can rescue himself. Mr. Next Time now in the next chase, that meaning that Gambito is forced to go for the unhook onto Lix, and this is now the crucial moment why the killer wants to push it into a 3v1, because now we have 1 on the hook, 1 for the unhook, and the third one is here busy in a chase, meaning that the generator efficiency is dropping down towards 0, and the next greed on a filler pallet by the survivor team could have been thrown earlier as well. Third injury resulting from a greedy play like that into the down onto Mr. Next Time. Hook will come out. I don't think the survivor team will worry too much about that, because we have the deliverance in play, meaning these 2 survivors here can pressure this generator next to Shack, and once the deli is in play, you can attack the generator at the main building. That's exactly why Mr. Next Time is not waiting with the deliverance at all, immediately hopping back onto the gen. And now we have 2 generators spread across the entire suffocation pit on 30% of progress. So if this chase is going a little bit too long, you will see the killer getting really nervous. We can already see the Leonidas returning back towards this gen, but Ray, it won't be enough, because on the main building, there's progress in the meanwhile.
And they sacrificed Everyday Pizza. GG's, you played very well and you did your job, but they broke that 3-gen. That was what the Blight was scared of. I can't help but think if he had gotten that tunnel out earlier, if he had the time to defend that 3-gen. But, perfect 2020 hindsight. Right now, they have to attack this, but you know, even though Blight is an S-tier killer with insane mobility, he still just has to take the time to do stuff. Are we gonna see 99 sprint burst play? Let's go. Buying just as many precious seconds as you can. Dying here in the comp corner. There are 2 survivors on the other side of the map who was doubling that generator by the shack, and they do get it done. They might actually just be taking their small W's as they can, trying to get out of the game. We do see Dwight here taking a little bit of a stealthier approach, because keep in mind, he is worth the most hook stages right there. We can see on the left, on the UI, he has not been hooked once. And this is Chris's 2nd hook. So if he dies, that means that it's only worth 1 stage. Leaks here as well, working on the gate, has been hooked 1 time. We see Dwight in the distance, but the killer wants to go for this ace player right here, playing this new tile. It's disgusting, it's weird, but it is in the game. So we're gonna try to get ace down here, but it's taking a couple seconds. We need to try and get this down as soon as possible. Maybe try to get some other players, but nope, it seems that I go first, so I get a miss! That's definitely payback for earlier, swinging through all those pallets. You are getting those hits, but guess what? Not today. This is where it really matters, because in endgame, where we can secure more kills, it means that we're just gonna take ace, our prize. We're gonna place him up on hook, except I believe the gates were on that other side by Shack as well, both of them? No. There's one over here. We still see that Dwight is stealthing. We're opening this gate with our mind by Chris, who's only worth 1 more stage. Dwight here, worth 3. He's actually playing a little bit aggressive. We see that he's trying to hover around the shack, possibly to get... Oh, yeah, Blight ran over here. Stop this gate from opening. We see that Dwight went over to shack to possibly go for the save if that this chase lasted a couple seconds, which it did. He is dead though, so if we place him up on the hook, that's only 2 survivors left. So that means that we're almost guaranteeing another death because Blight is a very fast killer. He can get over here and pressure this as quickly as possible. The survivors they're trying to get this door open, but is it gonna be quick enough? Is there enough progress? We'll have to see. See, the Blight is over here.
Confused.
Oh,
I'm a little bit confused about the end game that we are currently seeing, Ray, because they have just pushed from multiple stages out of the door into 11 stages. I do believe that this crawling survivor might be able to make the way out, but I mean, we have no way out. Yeah, the exit gates are somewhat around the shack, but the Blight was busy also. I do believe that the idea fundamentally of even sending the Dwight towards the shack one more time was a really big mistake, and I will call it a mistake because it costed 3 hook stages here. Whenever you are looking onto the Blight, realistic is you are getting 4K'd even on 0 gen standing, so the chance of taking outs on the suffocation pit against a comp Blight are already a little bit lower, and I'm not entirely sure, Ray. There was definitely the chance to get the Dwight out of the door. They decided to send him back towards the shack, and now it's resulting ultimately in turning 7 or 8 stages into 11. That is a very huge change that you need to take as a survivor team. For Archon, it will be very rough to accept that, I feel like, and at the same time, you're giving to Eunoia a great confidence boost, right? Eunoia was preparing, the survivors were preparing, watching this killer game for 8-9 stages, thinking, wow, this is going to be rough. And then in the last few seconds, it's turning into 11. They are going to be hyped now.
Because, like you said, Blight definitely can 4K before the last generator. What our win condition for the next game is just to get 2 stages out. Doesn't matter, fresh hooks doesn't matter at all because everybody was hooked at least one time. You just need to get 2 stages out. Doesn't matter on who. So that's definitely something that can be a little bit difficult. It can be doable. We'll have to see if this other team has a goated Blight player. Everybody, welcome back to Archon versus Eunoia. Sorry. We have Archon killing Everyday Pizza on the Blight, and we have a very, very early bunch of survivors who are running around. They are not scared whatsoever. Our win con for survivors, 2 stages out. Our win con for killer, 4K at however many gens are left. And here we have this tile again, this disgusting safe pallet tile. We're just gonna go ahead and kick it, get it out of the game. We actually have a default Blight. That's very interesting. We'll have to see if this killer side has a very, very good Blight because it's not unheard of. Oh God, oh God. Oh, we still get the hit. That's, that's good. We have a very, very early hit right there. Our Ruin is cleansed, but it's okay because as the Blight, we brought in 2 gen picking perks. We have Call of Brine, and I believe it was Pop Goes a Weasel. So even though Ruin was cleansed, it doesn't matter because we still have 2 good perks at our disposal. We are crunching through pallets at this side of the map, so this could be a good area for us to camp, because the survivors won't have too many resources, but we still have to try and get the down here. Bang playing for her life, does get the stun on the killer, but doesn't have very much in terms of resources left, so she is going to try and just waste as much time. Goes down. That's our down happening at 5 gens. The survivors, however, have made the cross and are working on a gen right now. No Ruin. No Ruin to regress the gens, so this first one will be popping. It is a double gen, however, so not other progress available, but that is still a way better start than last game.
Absolutely, yet I'm a little bit surprised that there's not more on the generator front for the moment, because I feel like Raiden put up a very, very nice chase, considering we are here with the Blight and the bottom side of Suffocation Pit usually not being as safe as the main building area. That was a very, very good, almost tutorial chase on how to keep Blight busy at the beginning. We are going to see a pallet throw by our Nancy, together with a blind as well, running a little bit towards the shack, though. They need to be careful with leading the Blight away from the hook stage in best case, so the other team members can go freely for a rescue. But now, as soon as the rescue is coming through, we see Everyday Pizza will prioritize Raiden DBD. They do get the heal off. That makes me think that we are either with the medkit, yeah, there was the medkit, or with the we will make it, maybe both in a combination here. We have Futz now moving towards the midsection, filler pallet, and is it going to be the win for the survivor? The answer is yes, so we are making more distance and wasting a little bit more time. And of course, the tunnel out strategy is really strong, and once you have the 3v1 scenario on your hand, you are playing a very comfortable game for you on the killer side. But if it doesn't work, like we see right now, then you're losing a lot of time, and we do not even get a down onto Raiden that we could use for a slug. Instead, we're realizing way later that we have lost too much time, now returning back towards the shack, where we are not even finding the survivor that has been here a couple of seconds ago, meaning that the survivors for the last minute having free pressure on the objectives with 3 of their team members, and this will come out very punishing if we are not able to chain a couple of downs together.
And it's already happening as well. We have another generator done. We have a generator with tons of progress over here, and we only have one hook stage. Granted, that doesn't mean that this game is over yet, because Blight is an S tier and can definitely snowball, but it's looking like these survivors are not gonna give it for free. This tag does happen, but it is on a brand new survivor. We don't have our tunnel out, which is something we would love to have. Another filler pallet right here. Goes for a little bit of swing, but the Nancy, patient as ever, does not get tagged, trying to play this Godrock filler from the unsafe side. Believes that the Blight will respect the pallet for a second time, but does not. So we do get that hook right there, going for the grab, putting her up on this hook in this corner. Another generator gets done, and that means that this map is looking like it might be split because of how much progress is right here. We saw the Lori stealthing around in that corner, and we get this quick save as well. We did have Will Make It on Ace, so heals can happen very quickly. He has a free tag to Nancy as well. That's going to give her a little bit of distance, and the Ace is definitely hovering around with the Lori on that generator as well. This is looking like this is just so much to do, so little time. The Blade can only be in so many places at once. You have to defend that generator, you have to go for a chase, you have to just make sure that other generators don't get done too. But that is definitely going to be a way more difficult task than it looks, except we do get Nancy down here, and we have our Fung over here running to this side of the map. She was one of our first hooks, and Nancy was as well. The survivors will have to try to recover from this, but we'll have to see if they can definitely do that.
Now going back towards the edge map, where the survivors have let the Blight not going for the successful hit here, even into losing the slug that was available here, making it back too late. Raiden will be on a run. It looks like a very struggling trial for our Blight. We have only 2 stages so far. The survivor team quicker in every single way you can imagine. Quicker on the generators than the team in the previous trial. Better in the positioning and in the mind games around the loops than in the previous trial. So the direct comparison, so many factors where the survivor team of Eunoia is coming out really, really strong here. Great to see that Pats, Arxkey, Sponge, and Raiden doing such a successful and good job. Spotting the Lori Sponge 1v1, he will go onto the ground here. That would be the 3rd stage available, but we will at some point need a little bit of a slug party, either in the end game or before the final generator will be completed. But it's now on the killer to take a little bit of risk here, otherwise you will fall too far behind and then you cannot pull back. It is nice to get the hook stages, and you really need the pop goes to Weasel at the moment, but I do think with just the classic chase and hook, you will not be able to defend this any longer. The survivors are way too far ahead, and they also have a very beautiful 3-gen split across the entire suffocation pit, making it harder for Everyday Pizza to contest the objective. Survivor team of Eunoia coming out onto the next rescue right there, onto Sponge immediately after the killer has moved towards the bottom side. They are ready to save the team member, showing us the coordination here. Nancy getting away without an injury as well. Ray, just everything on Eunoia at the moment is falling together like perfect puzzle pieces. Endgame with 3 stages, and now they should be able to take that, right?
We'll have to see. Who knows? But the way that they have been playing this game so far, I have faith in these survivors to at least get 2 stages out the door. I mean, we have 2 other survivors who are just unaccounted for. Even if Ace goes down here in a double tap, doesn't look like it's gonna happen though, because he's got a juicy little speed burst right there, making it to the spiller pallet. The door does get opened, and look at that. Another survivor just slips on out. They are wasting no time in securing the W for this game, but we do also have to keep in mind that the killer played right now, this was not their pick. So we do definitely still have another chance for the team of this killer player to shine, because we've got a Ghost Face next game. Eunoia will be taking this set, but Archon definitely has their pick coming up, so we'll have to see how they decide to handle that game. Very well played to these survivors. This was very organized. You could see they played aggressive when they needed to, they played slow when they needed to, and the coordination was definitely there. And he's waiting for the deliverance as well. Come on, get off the hook. I know you want to. I know you can do it. You were there for every save. Yeah, look at that. They're definitely going to be waiting. I'm not sure. We're going to try to secure this. I wonder what the survivors are going to do. Because right at this point, they've already won this. They might just be trying to get as many stages out the door as possible. Because, you know, the game's over. Might as well. Is he going to try to Kobe?
I hope so. Because whenever you have the win condition in your pocket, it's a really nice training scenario for later matches where you can try to really pull something unexpected and practice a little bit how to get the necessary stages out of the... That's not how you do it, though.
I definitely saw the play.
That's not how you do it.
Oh, God.
That's why they practice.
Yeah, you know, now you know you can't do that. So... definitely something that, you know, you find out. It wasn't enough time to actually heal before the Blight could M1 right on top of his body. Maybe she could have crawled to like a filler pallet, and he could use his sprint burst to get over there to pick her up. But, you know, now they know. It's definitely something that you learn. You'll learn on the job. But that means that this first set is definitely going to Eunoia, the pick for them. So GG's, well played. We're gonna take a moment and we're gonna have Archon playing killer still. We'll have to see if it's Pizza, if they're going to be playing Ghost Face against the team Eunoia. I keep saying it even though it is very difficult for me. So don't go anywhere, everybody. We will take a moment and we will be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the treatment theater with the Ghost Face and Everyday Pizza on the killer. That's going to be Archon facing the survivors of Eunoia with Fats, Alex Lee, Sponge, and Raiden. Raiden has shown us some very nice chases in the previous trial, especially in the early game. Let's see how the early game is going this time for the survivor team. The answer is so far so good. We have a good use of the edge filler here, and the Ghost Face now trying to find a better survivor, someone to stalk, maybe someone who's unaware of the position of the killer, but the survivors making good call-outs, showing awareness for the surroundings. So far, not really any pressure for Everyday Pizza, losing the power here as well. He does get the injury onto Lori with the sloppy butcher together. It will be a difficult decision-making later in the trial if it's worth going for a reset, and the answer is usually on the Ghost Face you want to go for a lot of resets, so we will see a lot of time bonus being taken here for the killer. God filler being dropped right next to the library. And now the switch to the other generator, to another survivor. Really like to see that, trying to cause a little bit of chaos. Does get the hit onto Raiden as well, potentially able to get this filler pallet soon as, or not even filler pallet, this God pallet very soon as well, close by. Another survivor on a generator, but we decide to chase after Raiden. It would be good for the Ghost Face if this turns into the first down of the game.
First down this early would be magnificent, especially because we still have some God fillers up, meaning that the survivors haven't munched through all of these pallets. This pallet thrown kind of questionable, and the Ghost Face actually just takes it to recharge his power and goes back over here, trying to get a little bit more injuries that could definitely lead to a snowball later in the game. This stock as well, that is so much progress. The Nancy is definitely now going to be trying to play a little bit safe. That did happen quite a lot of progress. She tries to go for a little bit of chaining these tiles together. Throws this pallet right here, except little does she know that does charge the Ghost Face's power, but Pizza's not interested. Going back to this generator that has a lot of progress, it is a mid-generator, so if the survivors get this done, it does split the map very well. A lot of stock on that survivor as well. There's 2 other survivors left in the game, and oh, that was so close! And they are injured. It's not seeming like they're taking the heals though, because it's not coming through just yet. Sloppy Butcher making the heal take a little bit longer time. Ace here in the danger zone too, because he could be, oh my God! 2 gens pop at mid-gen, and the bottom side gen did get done. We saw where the other 2 injured survivors are. We have Ace here, fully stocked, going down. He is our first down of the game. 2 injuries out there. This is very well played by the survivors. It did seem a little bit confusing there in the middle, with the Fung not getting off that generator early enough in giving a tag. And she's over here as well, just working on this generator close to the hook. That is dangerous.
What a great play so far. Why I'm laughing is still because of your, oh God, what happened around the pallet. But such a true emotion right there, because that was really what I felt as well when we saw so many generators. And another greed on a pallet. Can they please stop greeding? This stun on the pallets. This is not the first time that they are going to be punished for that. You can drop the pallet a little bit earlier and then try to make at least some circles around it. But it's going to be 2 stages in exchange for 3 generators completed. Definitely giving you a good feeling on the survivor side. Sponge making an extra turn here, bring himself back to the desk, being exposed as well. He does get the stun just in time, a few millimeters missing there. Very unfortunate for the Ghost Face. This would have been such an important down to go for the comeback here. But not everything is going to work out against the survivor team that is aware what resources are still available and where the pallets of safety are positioned. We are rotating towards the next survivor, finding injured Feng over here. Raiden will be very quickly downed, and now we are turning the Larry's Memorial Institute a little bit into this danger zone where the survivors need to be constantly aware of their surroundings, where we have multiple injuries across the board as well, because the Sloppy Butcher is going to stick to your mind. You have in mind every time we are going for a reset, we lose such a significant amount of time. So survivor teams sometimes tend to overextend on the generators, not healing themselves. And then you are giving the Ghost Face the potential to go for some quick injuries and downs. Very nice looping here by Nancy, making sure that Ghost Face is going to stay busy for a little bit longer, but it's ultimately coming to an end. The reset is going to happen now. Raiden receiving one after being hooked once already. Second hook stage onto the Nancy here. So 60 seconds away from an elimination right there. And this elimination should definitely be the goal for the Ghost Face now, because we have a good amount of progress over here on this generator, 50% already. So getting the elimination and then trying to work with the 3v1 is going to be my call on the strategy here for the killer. And I think a 4K is still realistic if we get the elimination soon.
Especially because these... Oh, that was a mistake. The survivors are giving a lot of tags. That's something that can be really, really difficult to deal with in a Ghost Face set, especially because we do have Sloppy Butcher. That's what the Ghost Face wants. He wants to give out tags for free, and it's seeming like the survivors are definitely giving it. Even right here, that's another Sloppy Butcher tag. That's another Sloppy Butcher tag, and now we could be on the chase for someone who's dead on hook, except it seems the Ghost Face doesn't want him. He wants to go for this survivor, who is on their first hook, except now Pizza is leaving. That could have, I mean, he could have gotten a tunnel out there, making it a 3v1, but it seems like the killer's not interested. He did use most of his Scourge Hook Pain Resonances as well. Goes for a stalk there. He is injured, but doesn't matter because if he heals up, it means that he could get an insta down. But right here, this heal is happening for free. This complete reset of 3/4 of the team. That could possibly lead to now some outs. That could have been a big mistake on the killer's part. We'll have to see how the survivors played out, but they're definitely thanking the entity for this reset that's happening right here. They have these generators on top side. They're not entirely too close. The killer does find the reset spot, however, and is giving some stock to Nancy. Fung got a little bit as well. We'll have to see if he can get on the case of the tunnel out as well, because making it a 3v1 makes this game so much easier. But even right here, this survivor is only on their second stage. So we'll have to see if he can even get this down. The survivors, they know that they're almost 99 stocked and they don't want their power to come back. So she's just wasting as much time as she possibly can. Oh. Goes with the drop right there. That does give him the pallet, and he'll break it using Olsen's wallet to recharge his power. But she gets away and is not interested. He's going to go back to these generators and defend his objective. The peek out from Ace right there. We have so much stock on these other survivors, and there's 3 of them, but these guys are not our tunnel out. We don't want to go for them whatsoever. Takes the tag. Our stock is gone, but we are 1 hit from death. We'll have to see what the plan is. There's 3 survivors here. They are just everywhere, but none of them are a tunnel out.
It might be very dangerous though, on to Nancy and Fats here. Fats already with the exposed status effect just now. And if Nancy is being found soon, potentially even after slugging Fats after the successful down, there might be a little bit of a turn possible here for the Ghost Face. However, we do see that Sponge is rotating in now, ready to take a body block for the team member. Really nice organization that we see at the moment on the team of Eunoia. The survivor side is looking really strong, and we do get another 99 stalk onto Sponge here, so both survivors need to be careful, but the killer unfortunately has to rotate back towards the main room, because over here we have Raiden working on the generators. Nancy, that's just what we talked about, in danger here as well. Ray, there's a lot of chaos going on at the moment and the survivors are exposed, but now it's going to be such a difficult calculation on the killer side, and I almost feel bad for Everyday Pizza, because you do have the exposed survivors, but behind you, you have this generator on 80%, so every single second counts right now. You need to be really careful who you want to go in a chase with, and it's going to be Raiden down onto the floor. I don't think you have the time to go for the hook. Instead, you have to make it back towards the main building. Our survivor over here still exposed for a couple of extra seconds, but they already have another alternative generator on 60%, working on that with Fats and another survivor here. So this is just rough. Basically, Everyday Pizza needs to be in 3 locations at the same time, and this is showing us the great coordination by the survivor team. They are able to dictate what the killer has to do, and Everyday Pizza is making an understandable choice here, going after the 99 Lorry. The problem is you have to wait until your power is fully recharged. Therefore, generator number 5 will just be completed, but Sponge is the fresh survivor, so worth 3 hook stages, and getting at least him towards the end of the game, making sure that you are getting 6 stages overall is an understandable decision right here, and we can only hope for the Ghost Face that he will catch this survivor.
Look at this room too. You know, if he if he can even catch her. She's doing a great job of just looping and wasting so much time. And there's Ace right there, able to take a body block hit. He is now injured, so he could be hit as well. Is there another body block that's gonna come through? These survivors doing an incredible job of staying organized. However, he is... Yes, he has been hooked once, so if he does go up on the hook, that is still way better than letting the Lori take the down there. We have Nancy going back into the trial. She's worth the least amount of stages. These two survivors, you know, it was looking like it was possibly going to be a 4K, but, you know, the survivors capitalizing on any tiny little nook and cranny mistake of the Ghost Face is able to turn it into at least 2 survivors getting out, one of them only being hooked 1 time. So that is 5 stages already out the gate. We'll have to see if the Ghost Face can get more than just 1 stage from Ace here. Maybe the Nancy will be able to save them. No, it seems like he's going to basement. Yeah, if he takes him to basement, that's a lot more difficult to try to get out. Nancy's just gonna take the L on this one and escape with her 1 stage, and that will be Fats dying on hook. Goodbye. Thank you. GG's. Well played. We'll see you in the next game. So how many stages made it out? Oh god, it is so difficult to tell. I don't have the score sheet.
The killer got 6.
Opened. Killer got 6. Okay, yeah, there it is right there. 6 stages, 3 fresh. That is a very good result for how that game was going.
You guys should see how the producer you cannot see the mouse cursor, but you guys should have seen how the producer just aggressively rotated his mouse cursor around the stages, shouting basically on Ray and saying, "Look, it's on your screen." That was funny. A little bit of behind the scenes in DBDL. Definitely an insane performance, though. The fact that he didn't get sponged there towards the end and that we have a fresh survivor walking out of the door is really huge. 6 stages is something that you don't want to have going into the next trial as the survivor team, considering especially that Archon is down by a set point already. So they need a strong upcoming game to not take the loss here against Eunoia. And the problem is, even if you play a very good survivor game and you 6 stage the Ghost Face of Eunoia, you might still lose because your killer just had 3 individual survivors. So as long as Eunoia's killer gets 6 stages on 4 survivors, it's still the win. So basically, Archon needs to play for 5 stages. And 5 stages on Larry's against a killer that can stealth, against the resources being dropped every time when you have the exposed status effect. And it's quite easy to sneak up and go for the full exposure, especially when leaning from a corner. That is going to be such a rough challenge. 5 stages are accumulated really quickly. So what they need here is a very long and strong run during the early game, because Ray, I feel like this early game in the upcoming trial is more important than ever before.
Mm-hmm. Definitely going to have to see what the survivors can pull through. I do believe we are just going to load into the game because all these survivors, they have quickly joined. They are ready. They are locked in. They know what's up. This was their killer pick, so it might be that these survivors as well are going to be playing out of their minds. They're definitely going to be needing to do that because 6 stages on a Ghost Face. Ghost Face is known to regularly 4K teams, even high tier teams. So this will be a little bit stressful. They need to take this set point. The survivors need this win in order to still qualify for that spot in All Hallows League. We definitely don't want to be taking the loss, but we'll have to see what they have in store for us. Ghostface games tend to be a little bit chaotic. We saw that game. In the mid game, the survivors were taking hits just randomly. They were being caught out in positions. It is a little bit difficult to have clear comms or clear communications between survivors because so many things need to be said. You need to call out, everybody needs to call out their location. Everybody needs to call out where the killer is exactly when they're going down, all that kind of stuff, what resources have been used. So we'll have to see if the survivors can live up to their pick. And see if their killer side as well can do it. You actually mentioned that you know possibly who our Ghostface player is. So that is going to be a little bit difficult for these survivors if they have an experienced Ghostface player from Eunoia on the team.
Yeah, it's actually not that expert. It's Raiden. Fats was the one that I remember. Like Fats and me have played comp together. We've practiced in the same community, the same team. And he has a lot of knowledge about the Ghost Face because Fats was playing together with Rats a lot, and we all know Rats, the biggest
Rats
Ghost
and
Face
Rats?
fan in great combination, right? And they are real life friends as well. But enough of this beautiful background story. Definitely here a lot of experience when it comes to the Ghost Face on the side of Eunoia. Archon, as we mentioned, with a look at this stalk progress. This is 99.999. How is this even? This guy's a wizard.
Oh yeah, he probably
That's
had coaching.
insane.
He had coaching. So even if we're not having the Ghostface player, we definitely have him in the voice chat, which can be, it could do a little bit of IGLing, telling him exactly what you need to do. So this is definitely a scary matchup. That stock, I don't even know, is Ace even aware of what just happened? He might not be. Oh God, this tag happening right here. There it is. That's the Ghostface set, man. They're just taking tags. And we have Ace over here. Do you know you're 99 stocked? We have no idea. I mean, he just kicked a pallet. He has Olsen's wallet. You're gonna be... Oh my God, he's gonna be stocked. Here it comes. He is throwing these pallets like it is the last thing he wants to... Or the first thing he wants to do. We have a lot of safe pallets. That's Larry's for you. You have a lot of these... really safe pallets early game. We are definitely munching through them right here. Oh, gets revealed. Oh, doesn't matter though, because we've got our power, because we kicked a pallet. And now Ace is just loping for his life. Yep, there we go. There's 2 safe pallets on the map, early munched away. We don't know if the survivors have too much progress. There was one caught out down here, but they definitely should be just working on generators right here. They need to get this progress. Yeah, and Ghostface is committing as well because he knows that this is just a quick down. See, look how quick that stock happened. And the survivors, they're not really, oh God, that's not enough progress. That down happened so early. Here we have a generator that's about 50, but yeah, that's gonna get Scourge, Hook, Pain, Resonance. A good chunk of that gone. And now the survivors, it's not looking too good. They needed more progress for this down to happen.
Absolutely, yeah. As we mentioned during the break, the Survivor team basically needs to play for 5 stages in this trial. And we can see here that basically 1 stage per completed generator, and we are already 1 stage behind if we take this as a base for this trial. Raiden had a dream start with that 99.9 stalk, early on spotting licks, then being able to immediately down that survivor. We haven't seen a long loop from the survivor team, so they are now short on time, and Everyday Pizza is spotting the Ghostface quite late as well. I was about to say Raiden could even let this survivor go, knowing that he's on 75% of stalk progress, and then just catch him later. I think it's understandable if Raiden decides to go for the camp into the 2nd stage here. You definitely have that time available. Only 1 generator will be completed. Even if you lose a 2nd generator, you are 60 seconds away from the elimination, and you're already having the half time almost when we are talking about the win condition. Rotating now towards the library. 1 survivor has just been here, and that's going to be Raiden trying to locate that survivor. Will be successful with that. We are holding W, trying to get as much distance as possible, but Everyday Pizza now waiting behind the corner, and that means that he's also going to be 99, and Raiden going back towards the hook. No one has taken care of the rescue just yet, meaning if a survivor is now rotating in, we will have a trade, and then Raiden won't care about licks anymore, because when you have a fresh survivor on the hook pushing him into stage number 5 all the way, and this new survivor would die, that is something you can definitely deal with. Mr. Next Time will also have the difficulty now that the Ghostface will be able to block the pathway. What a great play here, and as long as the survivor is not trying to make it through, there's no timer on the body blocks. What a perfect play by Raiden here. Wonderfully played. Everyday Pizza being in danger here. 99 stalk progress is now going to come into effect. That's going to be the next down. And keep in mind, if Everyday Pizza is camped all the way to death, we are already talking about the tie here.
I don't even know if he needs to do that, because look how many generators are left. There's 3 of them left. even if the survivors were to split and sit on generators, is that enough time to actually get, like, you could just, like, the killer could just sit on hook and he just wins. Like, is that enough time for the survivors to even get out and escape? That is just so much to ask. And, like, even the Ghost Face doesn't even need to stand on hook. He knows that if he just goes around, oh, look, there's a survivor in the distance. Look at him. He's spawned him with his eagle eyes. Is he gonna go over here and go for it? Oh, Chris is here, but it's gonna be a 1-for-1 if he decides not to go for the save and is gonna take a tag instead, trying to run away from the hook. We'll have to see if Dwight decides to come back. Oh, we lose him a little bit. Scratch marks are a little bit misleading. He goes over here in this corner. He is found here at this tiny little corner pallet loop. It is actually safer than you might think. So the killer is definitely playing it, but we'll have to see how long that Chris lasts. It is not looking good for these survivors. They just need to have a god chase, but even if they have a god chase, there's somebody on hook, and some people just can get caught out. Yep, and we've used a lot of resources, especially for that first chase. A lot of the safe pallets have already been thrown. So what we really need to see here is some jukes. We have one more safe pallet here in the library, but guess what? Ghostface doesn't care. He just wants to go for the downs. He's trying to create chaos, and chaos is happening. Oh god, we're back here at this corner filler palette. We need to just, you know what? We just need to be the best. We just need to have incredible wins, 50-50s for about, like, 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Let us do all the gens. Oh, we're gonna try to bait some panic vaults. Oh, look at the patience on this tap here. He's not even going for it. Oh, he's trying to bait him. He's trying to bait him. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. Oh my god, the patience. Look at him go. Loses at one point. You know what? That was very well played by him, though. That was a lot of time. And it does allow this reset to happen, but man, that is the second hook happening onto Pizza right here. We are 2 stages, 1 stage that could be placed onto a fresh survivor for a tie. We're just a couple stages away from the win, and there's just so many generators to do.
Yeah, I think this corner mind game that we just saw, this was about honor. That's why he didn't break this pallet and just let this over. This was about honor, trying to bait the survivor and really proving I can get you there in the corner. And I understand it. I'm not breaking that pallet either whenever I'm playing on Larry's as the killer. This is all about who's having the stronger nerves. Everyday Pizza very soon into the full elimination here, 2 stages already, and we are going to see the trade with Gambito coming out. Raiden does not need to trying to bait the hit right there, but it's going to be over very soon for the survivor team, because if you take this fresh survivor, then we are talking about 6 stages. You can even get stage number 6 now based on Everyday's Pizza elimination, as we do not allow anything like a decisive strike, meaning that we are now on the tie condition, and then afterwards, when Gambito is being hooked, we are talking about 7 stages and the win for Team Eunoia. A clean 2-0 for them, starting off this weekend cup for themselves. And Eunoia is going to play straight again. For them, an advantage here. It can be rough to play 2 best-of-3s in a row, but when you are coming out with a 2-0, very warmed up, very confident, knowing that you have 1 win on your hands already, you are just going to come with wide shoulders into the match with Insomnia. There we do see a little bit of a standoff. Grabs have been removed, so you can just go for it, buddy. Mr. Next Time here staying under the hook, and we are just going to play it out. Yeah, GG's to Team Eunoia. Congratulations on a clean 2-0 win. Archon moving on against Insomnia later tonight, definitely with a lot of pressure there. Now what Archon can take from this final chase is a little bit of dominant showcase here, warming up further, practicing a little bit and showing Eunoia, well, you might have taken this 2-0, but you are not that dominant and you are not playing that insane. Gambito, however, going down, and that means we are having a very clean 4K. Ray, 4K on 3 gens as well, from the expert of Ghost Face herself. A few compliments maybe?
Yeah, that was very, very well played. Exactly what you're looking for in a Ghost Face set. That down happened very early. You know, like I said earlier, this map has a lot of safe pallets. The plan usually from the survivors, keep eyes on the killer, take him to where the safe pallets are, work on the generators that's very far away. And the Ghost Face prevented all that, actually getting that down very early with still some very few safe pallets still up. So well played by Raiden, a classic Ghost Face set. You love to see it. The survivors were confused and gave out tags that did happen to the previous survivor team, but they were able to organize the late game. So they were able to pull out the win from underneath that Ghost Face. Very well played. And now, are we actually set up for the next team? Can we just go on a break and then go straight into it? I don't know if the team's ready. The winning 2-0 definitely does shave off a little bit of time.
Nah, they are aware that they have to hop in earlier if needed, and Insomnia is already in their VC. All 7 players, 2 of them already screen sharing for the staff team. So basically,
nice.
we just need to hop in and we can go into the next trial. Definitely big shout out to Insomnia. Exactly what they've shown us in the Scrim Nights as well. It's not only about the performance that you're showing in the trial, it's also about your sportsmanship, your management, your organization. So really, really huge to see that from the end.